Hello and welcome to another episode here on my channel. My name is ChaosMole and today we are talking about the trading post, aka the auction house in New World. And the first part will be about the basics. And yes, I can already hear some people saying, oh, basics, oh, who cares? Believe me, you should, because you can make a lot of mistakes here and they can cost you dearly. And when I mean dearly, I mean your money. So don't do those mistakes we will talk about here in just a minute. The second part will be about the items which will hopefully make you a lot of money very quickly. Keep in mind though, this might change in the next few weeks and months depending on how the market is fluctuating, and you should verify for yourself if that is still the case, and I will probably have to make an update on this down the road. But now let's talk about the basics. First things first, we are opening up the rawhide here, putting in a sell order, and have a look at this. So first things first, make sure you are putting in the right quantity. The game always just wants to sell one unit, no matter if you have thousands and thousands of those, they always just want to sell one. So make sure you're putting in the right quantity, especially when the listing fee doesn't change based on the quantity you are selling. So keep that in mind, they can lose you money. Second is the money itself. Like, how much money do you want for this item? And it is very important to note that this is the unit price. So how much you pay per unit. And I know, some people might now say, yeah, of course it is, Mo, duh. Believe me, I have seen enough people who thought this is the overall price you pay for the item. So if I would put in the rawhide, the 300 pieces for 0.15 coins, I have seen people who thought they would get 300 rawhide for just 0.15 coins. And that's not the case. Or I saw people who have bought actually like 1000 iron ore for 1 gold piece each unit, and they thought they are buying 1000 iron ore for just 1 gold. And they were super happy till they then bought it and lost a lot of money. So please, please keep that in mind. That's very important. Now, let's talk about the automated listing price. Whenever you are opening up an item in the selling function, the system will now look for the price and will calculate it based on the lowest price on the market. And you might think, cool, so I don't really have to do anything here, right? Yeah, no. The system might look helpful on first glance, but can actually backfire quite a bit. And there are two reasons for that. First, it doesn't take into account how good your item is. Right now, we are just looking at resources. But what is if you actually want to sell an item? So we are going under buy here. We are looking for the flat bow, for an example, which is this one right here. And you can now see that a flat bow costs 5 gold. But the system is not taking into account the gear score, like the rarity, the stats, and the perks. So let me show you this, have actually found a blue flat bow. This is this one right here for 120 gold. And yeah, it's not the greatest, but it is a rare item. Item level 325, which is not bad. It has dexterity. If the int is like, yeah, whatever, okay. It has an empty gem socket. And, well, the perk is not too great. But the point I want to make is clear. The system, when I tried to put this bow in, told me, hey, you can sell this bow for 5 gold. And I was like, wait, what? No. Okay, yeah, it's not the greatest bow, but this bow is definitely more worth than 5 gold. But the system doesn't take into account what the stats are saying on the item. They are literally just searching the name, which is Flatbow, and then they're going with the lowest price possible. So don't do that, because it can make a big difference. Let me show you this very quickly. I have actually sold this defiled life staff for 250 gold. Why? Because it had 15 focus and a pretty high gear score. It didn't have a perk, sure, but the stats were good enough to sell it that high, and the system wanted me that I'm selling it for 50 gold instead. And I was like, no, my item is more worth than 50 gold. So that is one of the things they are not really taking into account, and you should be careful. Another thing they are not taking into account, and this brings us back to the resource selling, is the amount of units you want to sell. There are enough people right now running around which just want to get rid of their items. So when they have like 7 raw hides in their inventory, they're sometimes going to the auction house and they are just putting them in for a super low price to get rid of them. This is also something the automated system doesn't take into account, and when you would come in and try to sell your 1,000 rawhide, the system would be like, okay, somebody is trying to sell this for like 0.02 gold, so you probably also want to sell your rawhide at exactly that point. And it's like, no, not at all. So have a look at the sell order, right? And see how many units they're trying to sell and how quickly that sell order will probably disappear. And then make your assessment on how much your rawhide should cost. Like in this case here, right? Like somebody is trying to sell like 4 rawhide. They will disappear super quickly, and then there's some extra space for your rawhide to be put in. So keep that in mind. It's very important. Now, there's one last thing we have to talk about when we are talking about the basics. The trading post is local. Wait, what does that mean? Well, if you have played MMOs before, like let's say World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy, you probably know that the auction houses are global. Like no matter where you sell your items or where you buy your items, it's the same thing. Not in this game. As you can see here on the right side, they are locally. So they are all sold on their unique trading post in the city. And that is very important to know when you are selling or buying an item, because that can mean that you can, well, buy an item somewhere cheaper, or you can sell an item somewhere more expensive. And if you want to see the trading post, you can just click on them. See, you can just click the trading post you want to have in your list, and then when you put up a sell order or buy order, you can just look for that, right? So check your other trading posts is what I want to say. And well, what happens now if you buy something which is not in the city where you are, like this weak health potions, which is an Everfall? Well, it's pretty simple. If you would buy this item, they would say you need to go to the trading post to complete this order. So you have to go there. But you can at least search for it. And it should make it more easier for you to assess the right price for an item. Or if you might have to change the territories. It's as simple as that. Now that we have talked about the basics, let's talk about the things which will hopefully make you a lot of money. And those are the items you can sell right now. So what I can tell you already is the item which sells for a shit ton of money very quickly is Live Bloom Stem. You can sell the live bloom stem between 20 and 50 gold. I have sold it for 20, not very smart, because I realized I could sell them for 50 gold pieces each. Basically everything which is a stem sells really well right now on the market. Like it doesn't have to be the live bloom stem. It can also be, let me show you this. It can also be the rivercress stem. I'm still selling this, but as you can see, I've already sold some quantities here. So you can definitely sell those rivercress stem and make a lot of money from that. Or you can see right here, I have sold some for 40 gold. And no, wait, that was the other one. That was the one for 55, and I already sold 6 of them. So people are buying those stems because they need them for potions, is my point. And that goes for nearly every stem, besides of that one, and that is the fire stem. Like the fire dragon stem, that thing is selling for what, like 5 gold each piece. It's not really worth it right now, at least on my server. And yeah, just don't. Just don't, you know. But stem, especially the live bloom stem for the health potions, they sell like crazy. Like every time I put them in, people are just buying them off my hands. It takes like 5 minutes and I'm done with them. Another thing which interestingly enough sells pretty well, as you can see right here, is game meat, which you were getting from rabbits. I sold like 29 pieces of them for 20 gold pieces each. I have already another big batch just waiting to be sold. And yeah, game meat is definitely the thing you should keep in mind when you are selling those. And by the way, I just see right now, it seems like we have sold everything. Okay, cool, nice. I have to upgrade that. But yeah, game meat apparently is the thing people like to buy. Silver ore right now is selling pretty well. The iron ore not so much. So basically all the raw lower tier resources are selling really well. This doesn't just have to do with people need them for crafting, but also people need them for questing. Because when people are using the village board, they need the raw items. Like if people ask me, what would you sell? The rawhide? Or would you actually sell the leather? The coarse leather? And the answer is, sell the rawhide. It is extra XP people can make to boost their leather works, right? And then they can decide what they want to do with it. If they want to use it for quests, or if they actually want to use it for crafting. So whenever you sell something, sell it in the raw form, at least for the low tier items. For the higher tier items, that's a bit different, because some of the stuff is, those are items like some people can't even craft anymore, like higher health potions or higher armor or something like that, right? But when it comes down to the resources and the low tier resources, sell them raw. Don't do anything with them. Another thing which sells pretty well besides of the game meat and all the stems and all basically the raw materials are, as I said, items. I could see it right here with the Defiled Life Staff. When they have a specific stat, which is very high, which makes sense for the item, like dexterity for the rifle or for the bow, or strength for the two-handed weapon or something like that, you can sell them for a pretty high price. Don't get lied to by the auction house who is trying to sell this for like 5 gold a piece or something like that. Don't do that. Don't fall for it. Like, you can sell this for some nice money. And ammunition. Weirdly enough, low-level ammunition is something people really like to buy. Like the normal ammunition, the arrows, like it's definitely something people like to buy. And that's so far it. Like, that's how I made most of my money. It's really just the stems, some items, game meat, and then of course the ammunition and silver ore. Yeah, silver ore is apparently also selling pretty well. Not so much iron ore. Seems like everyone is like farming iron, and that is not selling so well. But silver, definitely. Yep. But that was it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helped you a little bit to determine what to sell and what not to sell, and I hope that you are now a little bit wiser on how to navigate the trading post. If you enjoyed this video, I would appreciate if you, on your way out, that you leave a like. If you didn't like this video for whatever reason, well, there's a dislike button right next to it. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see more videos on New World, guides, tips and tricks, and also gaming news and reaction videos to the biggest gaming shows in the world, then I would also appreciate if you might consider a subscription to the channel, because it would help me out and it's free. Also, if you do that, please click the bell icon, because if you don't do that, you will never ever hear from me ever again. That's unfortunately how YouTube works. So yeah, if you subscribe to the channel, it would be neat if you also click the bell icon. With that said, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Stay safe. Bye bye.